Is it over? Is it? September's finally over. Okay, thank goodness. So welcome, my friends, welcome to the stately Von Manor, where we're going to be talking about my terrible September. It wasn't actually terrible, it was just very, very busy, so I didn't get to finish everything I wanted to finish this month. It was busy. It was busy September, last month. It's last month now. Oh, thank goodness. We're into October. October is always the best month. So, yeah, what did I read last month? This should be a short wrap up. So, yeah, last month was very busy because work was crazy. You know how that happens. Work could be crazy. And, I ended up doing a bunch of stuff I don't normally do, which is, And everything seemed to take a lot of time. I'm attempting to learn Italian. I'm attempting to learn Italian. And that takes up a lot of time. It's this terrible thing you discover as an adult that every time you choose to do something, you're choosing not to do everything else you want to do. And so, yeah, I didn't get as much reading done as I'd like. I read every day. I always do. But some days I've only had 15 to 20 minutes to read what I actually wanted to read. So, yeah, the month went like that. Last month was crap in a lot of ways. There were some good things that happened, though. For one thing, I did find my copy of the Library of America's Edgar Allan Poe's Poetry and Tales, which I feared might have been lost forever, but I did find it. The Phantom of the Library, the evil Phantom, who haunts the dark halls of Von Manor and steals books and places them in strange places, took this book and put it in a strange place. It was just off the dining room, in a corner, like tucked away by this antique sewing machine. It was just kind of tucked down there, and where you'd never. Why would anybody put that there? I don't know, but the Phantom did. And so when I did my Library of America book tour all those videos ago, this wasn't in there, but I found it. Thank goodness. That damn Phantom. He's always running around here stealing my books and putting them in weird places. Oh well. On to what I actually read last month. Not too much. Didn't finish too much. First thing I did finish was The Valley of the Flame by Henry Kuttner. This was a really entertaining book, The Valley of the Flame. I really enjoyed this. I read this for my vintage science fiction project. This was the second book I read for the project about an adventurer. Actually, he's a doctor who goes adventuring, looking for a friend of his, and ends up in a lost valley. It's a lost valley inhabited by cat people, and time moves differently because of science. And, he has this really cool adventure. It was pretty awesome, The Valley of the Flame by Henry Kuttner and C.L. Moore, most likely. I'm sure C.L. Moore had a hand in this. It certainly read like she did. So, Valley of the Flame. This was a lot of fun. So I started off the month well. Now, last month was Dictember, a month devoted to reading detective fiction. And I decided I would concentrate on one detective, which was the Continental OP. So I'm reading the big book of the Continental OP, which I have not finished. I fully intended to finish this big old book last month, but it's very large. They didn't lie when they called it the big book of the Continental OP. This is 733 pages, but they're all large double-columned pages, and so there's a lot of text in here, so it's actually even bigger than the page count suggests. But I've got a bit to go. I've got a bit to go in this book. So unfortunately, I'm going to be starting October behind because I'm going to be finishing this up. However, I should be able to wrap up this fairly quickly because I was reading another book, which was this one. This is Across the Wire by Stella Teleria. Stella Teleria, who has the BookTube channel, It's Too Late to Apologize. I picked this up because I went to work one day without my big book, and I had some time in an afternoon, so I thought, you know, I had this in my work bag, I'll just read this. So I started this. Now, the one thing I never do ever is read two books at the same time. I know that's a popular thing for people, but I found if I do that, it takes longer to finish everything. And so I didn't finish everything, but I'm glad I read this. I did finish this, and it was good. I have to talk about this, so I won't talk about it too much here because I'm going to do a video dedicated to Across the Wire. I'll do an Across the Wire video because I have thoughts. I have thoughts about this book, so I will talk about Stella Telleria's book Across the Wire probably next week, maybe next week, probably next week. I'll talk about this book because I liked it and I have thoughts. So I'll do a review on this one coming up. This one, still not finished. So, damn, this is a short wrap up. I did read all of the Continental OP short stories, and I'm on the novels now. He wrote a bunch. This was by Dashiell Hammett. Dashiell Hammett wrote a bunch of stories about the Continental OP, which was his first detective who worked for the Continental Detective Agency. Short, fat, tough little guy. And he's really tough, too. He gets into some scrapes. And I've had a great time with this book. I'm not complaining about the book itself because it's a great book. It's been a lot of fun. I'm going to be talking about this one too. I was hoping to talk about it before September was over, but oh well. I'll talk about it in October. That's fine. So yeah, I'm reading the book that became the novel Red Harvest. It was originally in the magazine Black Mask published as The Cleansing of Poisonville, which is actually substantially different from the novel as it was published as a book. And this has the original magazine versions of everything. So that's been really interesting. So I will have a lot to say about this too when I get to it. But that's it. That's all I read. Now, I was hoping to get into October and start right up with Varney, because Varney is another monster. I mean, literally, the book and the character. So I've got all of this Varney. Now, altogether, Varney is, what's this, volume 2? Altogether, Varney the Vampire is how many pages? In this edition, it's 1,349 pages. But again, they're big, double-columned pages, so it's even bigger than it looks. However, it's got all the original illustrations in this edition from the original Varney the Vampire, Penny Dreadful. Varney the Vampire was a penny dreadful, so it was like this little magazine that continued the adventures, the serialized adventures of Varney. So it's not really a novel. It's like a magazine that had the continuing adventures of this wicked, wicked vampire. And I've wanted to read this since I was a little kid, and I saw this illustration in a book about vampires. Ever since that day in the San Leandro Library as a small child, and I saw this illustration right there with Varney with his ribs sticking out, looking all creepy. I wanted to read this book. So I was hoping to charge into this month and just start reading it, because I really would like to finish this month. We'll see. This is the only thing, Varney is the only thing I've got planned for October. This is it, because it's going to take a lot of time. If I'm lucky, I'll finish it and have time for something else, but I don't know. If October goes like last month did, probably not. So the things I've read in September were actually good. I didn't read anything bad. I just, the only gripe I have really is that I didn't finish this, and I wanted to finish this, but that's all right. It's pretty damn good. I'm enjoying it. The month just wasn't long enough, I guess. Only it seemed entirely too long. It was not a fun month outside of reading and BookTube. BookTube was a lot of fun. BookTube's always fun. So yeah, that's my month. Not much to say about it, but there it goes. Okay. I will catch you next time. Tragically, I'm not sure I'll have a Sunday Penguin up for Sunday. I don't know if I will because time is looking. We'll see. I'll try. Okay, guys, I will catch you next time.